Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and today we're going to have the opportunity to look at some more flea market finds. These coming in from Southern California from Scott. Scott has been an active channel viewer for years, and well, he just delights in finding some some offbeats, some nice and beautiful classic as well as current reels from the local flea markets out in the Southern California areas. And well, he sent me 2 packages today. I can't wait to see what's inside them and to find out what projects we'll be working on. Well, if you like the art of fishing reel service and repair, if you'd like to learn what's available in the used equipment market, if you'd like to see how to service and repair them, or maybe some of the things to look for as you are considering purchasing a used fishing reel, well, then I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe to my channel, please use the notification button. That'll let you know when I'm servicing something, and well, it'll be a learning experience for all of us in terms of how to service the reel and how to keep it fishing for a long time to come. Actually, how to give it a second chance. That's the title of the channel. That's the title of my business. And Scott found, I think, 4 reels, he was telling me. And well, they're going to be interesting ones. They're going to be classics, and they're going to be spinning reels. And I know Chris, who watches the show, is going to enjoy these. The first one up is the Mitchell 302. This is just a classic reel. And typically what you find with these reels is that, well, they get what I call grease choked. This one actually is working beautifully. And when you're out in the flea market searching for your fishing reels, you want to test all the features and functions, particularly of an older reel, because, well, parts are hard to find and pieces that break, well, sometimes they're just not repairable. Well, you also want to check when you're looking at price, what is the cost to replace cosmetically damaged pieces. For example, I've had people come in and ask me to replace bails, for example, or handles that have broken knobs on them, and well, it's not inexpensive. So you want to consider that in your flea market purchases. This one is very clean, very little wear, just the littlest of wear here on the side plate where it may have bumped something, but otherwise this is in beautiful condition. It turns free and easy, and well, and the bail snaps back. This one has an interesting little kind of a bumper on the bail. Sometimes when you're looking for these reels, you'll find that those bumpers are gone. I just worked on a 410 actually. It has it's a 300 size reel, 400 with the high speed, but it has a bumper on it that had gotten worn out and displaced. Well, that's going to let the bail ride a little bit lower, but otherwise it's not integral to the mechanical performance of the reel. The 302 has a planetary gear drive. I just got this question in the other day. Watch the spool. You'll find that the spool does not go straight up and down, but rather it goes in a different pattern. It's kind of sits low and goes low, then comes up high and goes higher, and then goes back down. That's Mitchell's engineering. There was a design that they used in order to compensate for uneven line lay and to help with the overall function of the reel. Well, here's a big one. Now, as we were talking before, a lot of the times when you go to a flea market, well, condition is everything. This one's been more used. You'll see there's wear on the spools and the like. This one's a big one. For a moment there, I thought we were looking at the 386 or whatever. This is the 302N Mitchell, and well, it's got a whole different look to it. When you open up your bail, that hole there's a little plunger that's going to come through here, right there, and that's how that bail is going to set. So a lot of times you'll see a little bit different feature in terms of setting it. This one uses that little hole insert, and well, this one's tired. By tired, I mean generally has no grease. You can hear it grinding. Not as smooth as it should be, And when we open this up, I'm sure what we're going to find is just a lot of dried or non-existent grease. That can all be fixed. This one has a different bail. You'll notice on the 302 you have an arc-shaped bail. On this one it's more squared off. But other than that, the 302N is an interesting reel. I'm going to check my library. If I don't have a 302N, I'm certainly going to do that. Well, if you like the reels so far, if you want to see them, subscribing to my channel is the best way to do that, because I post all the time, and I post on vintage, I post on current reels, saltwater, freshwater, everything in between, brackish water, I guess, whatever that in between would be. And well, it's just an interesting channel that explores the history of fishing reel manufacture. And well, look at this one and how they were made and what they evolved to. So here's the biggest one in the Daiwa Gold series, or GS line. This is the GS90. It's huge. It's a 3-ball bearing reel. A lot of us have fallen in love with the silver series, the 7000C, for example. Well, this one's bigger. This one is what I call grease choked. Again, when you're looking at a fishing reel at a flea market or a used site or a yard sale, make sure that you know what you're getting, because you will have a very hard time finding parts for this. Been well used. You can see that the paint is worn off on the reel seat, and there's some corrosion, which is typical of these reels, on the metal parts. Here's a good way to test whether it's something that's mechanically broken or just bad grease. If you take the rotor and rotate the rotor and the handle is turning, and we're seeing that here, the handle is turning, albeit very hard and slowly, that is generally an indication of bad grease. It's congealed, dried up, and it's acting like a tar or a cement. Again, just rotate that. Now, if you're trying to turn this and there's no movement on the rotor or no movement in the handle, something else is broken. But in this case, you can pretty much be assured that this is bad grease. This can be corrected. We'll do a video on this one, because I love bringing these back and giving these a second chance. Well, I think there's one more in here that Scott had mentioned. And, well, this one's been worked on before. This is a Dam Super. It's the Dam Quick Super. How do I know it's been worked on before? That badge is in the wrong position. That badge should be that when the reel is hanging, you're reading Dam across the top here, Berlin, West Germany, or just in this case, West, below. But it should be worked on. This reel is from the, I believe it's the 1970s. And, well, it's working beautifully, which means that somebody has kept up with it. Some of the nice things about this reel, this can be switched. It's not easy, but you can switch from the left side to the right side. That's why you have this triangular click knob here. So when you're cranking with your left hand, you have the anti-reverse that way. If you want to go into neutral, that's the low switch. That means you can go either way. And if you want to go backwards, if you will, pull it up and bring it over this way. And now you'll turn with the anti-reverse here. What does that mean? That means when you take this from this side, move it over to this side, then you have the anti-reverse behaving correctly. Well, in this case, it belongs on the other side. Well, we'll take care of that button, because we're going to open this up and service it. A couple of things, again, we talked about before. Look at the cosmetics on the reel. If the paint is worn, well, that's to be expected. You've had line on there, and line will wear that paint away over time. Otherwise, this reel's in nice condition. You could replace the handle, at least in the olden days, you could replace that handle if it broke. And many of us have seen the issues with broken reel seats, because they were either dropped or in some other way became compromised. This reel also has a collapsible handle. You turn the button in, that will collapse the handle, enabling you to store that out of harm's way when you're going to store that reel. So, Scott found some beauties. Scott also included a little bit of a present for me here. I just got to find his other box for a moment. Scott knows that I do some lead melting and the like. And he's found, well, he's found a very interesting one. Is this a Palmer? Yes, this is a Palmer. So this is a C. Palmer manufacturing company, West Newton, Pennsylvania, not that far away from me. Number 103 is the mold. Here's the fun thing with this one. Look at the, these are bank sinkers. They're typically what we would use around us. Small teardrop type sinkers, but not small. But why would you come up with 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, and 7 ounces? Why not at least make that 7.5 or 6.5? Why do you need the half ounces? Well, it's kind of a good question, but they decided that the mold for 103 is, well, in the halves, which is kind of curious, but always interesting. This one is an aluminum mold, and what you, when you mold sinkers using lead, please work outside, do not work inside, and take appropriate precautions. Lead is toxic, so wear that mask to filter out the lead. Again, you need to be in an open air environment and be very careful when you're doing that lead melting. Scott, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I will use it. If nothing else, the folks that look at my tackle box will look at me a little interesting when I offer them a 4.5 ounce sinker. Okay, well, that's a preview of some. There's 4 reels here. I think we got at least 2 with the GS90 and the quick reel to do that service on. And maybe we'll even throw in that 302 that is making that little noise. It all depends on time availability. But Scott, I do appreciate you sending these in, and we will get them out there fishing again. To everybody, thanks for watching. To our first responders, thank you for your service and dedication to public safety. I appreciate that. And if anybody has a reel, anybody has a story, please leave it in the comments section. I'm always happy to hear the stories that go along with a lot of these vintage reels about how they were used, when they were used, what kind of fish were caught on them, and the like. Please leave those in the comment section. It always helps to learn and share that type of information. Well, another day, another set of boxes. We're ready to go to work. Thanks for watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.